What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we are reacting to Food Theory, You Solved the Grubhub Mystery. I guess with the highlight of what you is, I guess people found out how to solve the Grubhub Mystery. So I guess this is going to be explaining the last three pieces of evidence that MatPat couldn't figure out, which was the house, that Vortex video, and the picture of the town. Yeah. Wonder how close I was to getting it right. I highly doubt I got it right, but I'm kind of curious if I did. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button, be notified immediately when the video comes out. Other than that, the link to this video will be down in the description, so be sure to give Food Theory some love and support for the video they made. And if you want me to watch certain videos, leave it down in the comment section below, and I'll react to it as soon as possible. Wow, my tongue got lazy there. Anyway, phrasing, and let's start this video, shall we?
Earlier this year, on April 4th, Food Theory released an episode about Grubhub's bizarre 3D animated campaign.
Uh-huh.
The guy looks like Jimmy Neutron all grown up. Red t-shirt, atom on the chest, 3 electron orbitals. It's Jimmy Neutron's shirt. The molecules in the Grubhub cinematic universe perfectly match up to the cast of Jimmy Neutron. New Grubhub evidence has come to light. Grubhub somehow tracked...
Yeah, they're like middle school, right?
...package with the word confidential actually scrawled across the front.
There's a USB drive in here.
Wait, there is?
There are 3 particular pieces of information that I'm going to make available to you right now, Theorist Hive Mind. We here at Food Theory have uploaded these 3 files in their entire full resolution for you to sink your teeth into at home. You responded with hundreds of ideas. Today, we chew on them.
Okay. And I guess one of them answers each and every single one of them that makes the most perfect sense and could possibly be the most true. At least from what I'm understanding.
Welcome to Food Theory, the food channel that somehow wound up dissecting TV shows from your childhood. Theorists, today's episode is all about you. See, a couple months ago, we started dissecting the hidden lore of Grubhub's 3D animated ad campaign. I mean, these things were everywhere, and they were so meme-worthy. But as we dove deep into hidden family photos and secret relationships, something else stood out. Clues hinting at something much bigger. References to the classic Nickelodeon series Jimmy Neutron's Boy Genius. A shirt here, a character design there, technology that seemed to riff on that old series, but there was no way this could be true, right? I mean, a meal delivery service continuing the lore of a classic Nickelodeon cartoon from 20 years ago? It's impossible. It was an April Fool's theory. We couldn't have stumbled on something real, right? Right? Wrong. Grubhub responded, sending us a mysterious package full of never-before-seen clues for us to dissect, suggesting that we were definitely on something. A McSpanky's uniform, a purple Flurp receipt, a commercial starring an older Cindy Vortex. But within that package, there were also a few things that didn't quite add up. Items and images that we didn't know what Grubhub was trying to tell us with. And that's when I assigned you some homework. I asked for your help, summoning the power of the loyal theorist community to dissect the clues and try to prove once and for all that the 3D animated Grubhub cinematic universe and the 3D animated Jimmy Neutron cinematic universe were one and the same. And I am happy to report that you guys crushed it. I am giving you all an A++ on your homework. Print this episode up and put it on that refrigerator, friends. Teacher MatPat is proud of you. You pointed out a ton of little things that were really helpful, like how Taco Guy's dog, aka Jimmy's robot dog Goddard, is wearing one of Milkshake Lady's socks from another commercial spot, thereby proving the theory that Milkshake Lady and Taco Guy may have had a relationship in the the past. Another
Okay.
detail that I absolutely loved, pointed out by Abigail Grizzle, is that there are $2 bills in the picture with the circled house. It's a really unusual detail, so Abigail went digging and found that $2 bills are printed exclusively at the Western Currency Facility in Fort Worth, Texas, which, as we established in the earlier episode, is near Jimmy Neutron's hometown of Retroville. And that's just the small potatoes, friends. What the theorist community collectively
Really?
over the
There was
past
$2
week
bills?
major breakthrough. Let's just say that one of Nickelodeon's most popular characters might actually have wound up a cold-blooded murderer after his series stopped airing. Yep, things are about to get dark.
Oh my gosh, which one was it?
Let's blast off. Of the 3 things that I uploaded onto the shared drive for all you to look at, the one you
Let's see. SpongeBob is still going. Danny Phantom ended on a high note, at least. I don't think it would be the realistic one, so it would have to be one of the cartoon ones. Let's see, none of those really make a connection with the universe, so it would have to be a universe that already connected. And considering that there was a time where Jimmy Neutron worked with Danny Phantom and SpongeBob SquarePants, along with Timmy Turner, yeah, let's hope this doesn't go bad.
intended to focus on was this picture Grubhub mailed to me with a circled house. So let's start with that one first. We received dozens of comments suggesting that this tan 2-story house seen in Grubhub commercials is in fact the same tan 2-story house that Jimmy Neutron grew up in. And I gotta admit, that was the first thing that popped into my mind when I first saw the circled house too, but
I don't see
there are
it.
reasons why I stopped short of declaring it Jimmy Neutron's childhood home in the previous episode. For one thing, the trim color's different. It was green in the early 2000s series, but not so much in the present day. For another, the Grubhub neighborhood is just a lot denser with houses than Jimmy Neutron's in the show, in which the houses are separated by Texas-sized yards. Granted, it's been a couple decades, people tend to repaint their trim and neighborhoods grow, especially in the rapidly growing Dallas-Fort Worth area, but it wasn't the slam dunk that I was looking for. And the biggest reason I resisted calling them the same house was actually the chimney placement. See how it's at the end of Jimmy Neutron's childhood home in this shot from the series, but it's popping up in the middle of the roof over in the Grubhub house?
Well, middle,
literally anything
in all honesty.
can be changed in a 20-year time frame, but if I'm gonna believe that the Neutrons went to all the effort and expense of moving a chimney, I'm gonna need a clear reason as to why. Wouldn't you know it, you provided me with exactly that. See, just as I was about to stamp this whole house theory certified false, Kyo the Breakfinator, Jay Clark, and Goose Gaming all independently pointed me to a particular scene from the 2001 Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius feature film.
What do you know? The chimney fell off again.
That's right. Basically, the first time we meet Jimmy Neutron, he knocks the chimney off his family's house. Now, does this mean that the Neutrons built the chimney in a new location? No, not right away, at least. We know this because the Neutron's chimney continues to appear in its end-of-house location for several more seasons on Nickelodeon. But there's a line that's really important from that scene that we just watched.
What do you know? The chimney fell off again.
Theorists, it means that this happens on a regular basis. It's happened in the past and it'll probably happen again in the future, which means that the Neutrons would have a good reason to eventually move the chimney, saving money. See, in its current position at the end of the house, every time Jimmy crashes into the chimney, it topples completely, all the way down to the ground.
Yeah, I can see it.
$1,000 to entirely rebuild. But if the chimney suddenly gets moved into the middle of the roof, suddenly it becomes a lot tougher to demolish the entire height. Instead, Jimmy's rocket ship would probably only topple like 2 or 3 feet of the chimney sticking out of the roof. At about $150 per linear foot, rebuilding the chimney stack in its new location actually saves the Neutron family over 90% every time Jimmy knocks over a chimney. And you better believe that those Neutrons are going to be interested in saving that kind of money.
Would I like to have a 6-foot dog sculpture with a year's supply of free pie? You bet you I would. We don't have that kind of money.
I wish we were rich.
Kinda sucks that Jimmy Neutron has literally created massive diamonds from lumps of coal in his high-tech underground lab and chooses to not share that wealth with his family, but I digress. The point is this. I needed a reason the Neutrons might move their chimney, and the
people might call it false
me exactly that.
and
so I have no choice
illegal,
but to
so
theory about the tan house being the same house 100% plausible. We simply cannot rule out the tan house theory, especially when you factor in another detail a lot of you theorists latched onto: the blue car parked outside. We received a lot of comments saying that this was the Neutron family car from the Nickelodeon show.
Oh.
That's quite the case. For one thing, the car parked at the Grubhub house is a hatchback. The Neutrons have had a fair share of blue cars parked outside of their house over the years, but never a hatchback sedan like we see here. However, remember, the Grubhub commercials take place 20 years after Jimmy Neutron was a child. The average length of car ownership in the US is just under 6 years. So it's
True.
safe to assume that over the course of a couple decades, the Neutrons would purchase a new car that never graced the Nickelodeon screen. And if I had to bet what color car the Neutrons would choose, my money would be on blue, especially given that Jimmy, just like his parents, seems to have a thing for blue vehicles. So again, the blue
Yeah, I
car
can't
doesn't
disagree
anything
with that.
definitively, but it's yet another crazy coincidence that we can toss onto our ever-growing pile. I'll also add that there were a number of comments specifically calling out the station wagon from another Nickelodeon show, The Fairly Odd Parents. And you see, this one's really interesting because, as any Nickelodeon fan knows, the universes of Jimmy Neutron and Fairly Odd Parents intertwine massively.
Yeah, I remember those specials. I'm sorry you're pausing, but I remember those specials. They were my favorite ones. Except for the third one. I didn't like the third one all too well. It just seems a little, like, forced of how their friendship went. Because they were basically just rivals and agreed. And yeah, all that. They were rivals, Jimmy and Timmy, and the fact that they just randomly at the third part just went, ooh, the girl we like isn't here, so how about we just become friends and all that. It just seems pretty forced right there. But they were really good ones.
Whoa. Hey, why is everything so bulgy?
That's right, Nickelodeon made the Jimmy Neutron and Fairly Odd Parents universes as one and the same with their crossover extravaganza, the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, named after the star characters of both shows, Jimmy Neutron and Timmy Turner. In the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, Timmy Turner has a thing for Cindy Vortex, while Jimmy Neutron goes two-dimensional in the Fairly Odd Parents style. The TLDR of that is that the crossover is significant. So if we were to believe that the Grubhub universe is the Jimmy Neutron universe, and there's no way around it, the Fairly Odd Parent universe becomes a part of this whole mess too. Now, honestly, I don't think that the blue car from the Grubhub spot has anything to do with the Turner's car. Their car color is green for one thing. But a handful of you pointed out a Fairly Odd Parent link that seems really solid and is worth exploring. You'll all recall that we were able to match every millennial-aged main character in the Grubhub universe to a millennial-aged main character in the Jimmy Neutron universe. All
Yeah.
except for one. Milkshake Lady, former love of taco guy and the one that ultimately dies by being crushed under a giant Grubhub delivery bag. Now, when we were putting our initial episode together, we
understand that one.
Lady could be the grown-up version of Jimmy Neutron's sometimes love interest Betty Quinlan. However, the eye color didn't match, and Milkshake
Plus
Lady
the
had
mole.
moles on her face. Ultimately, there wasn't a whole lot there to go off of, so we moved along. But in the Fairly Odd Parents universe, there is a main character who's the right age, has dark hair, blue eyes, and no mole. Timmy Turner's occasional love interest, Trixie Tang, who just so happens to share two important qualities with Milkshake Lady. She's a lover of small dogs and a lover of food.
I'm hungry. Feed me and tell me I'm pretty!
So it definitely feels like
Yeah, she has an issue with that one.
all grown up. And as you can start to see, the pile of evidence supporting this theory has become immense. What started as merely an April Fool's theory is now, at this point, about as confirmed as any theory tends to get on any of our channels. But there was still one last major clue that I had sent you guys to pick apart: this super wide shot of the Grubhub town. Now, if the theory is correct and the Grubhub town is actually present-day Retroville, then
A lot of stuff was plausible.
Center has to have something linking it to Retroville, right?
But
Some
this-
pointed out that the general architectural style between the two towns is similar, and I would agree, but I'd also love to find some more specifics. You know, like, I get why McSpanky's might not be around given its history of flying off into the sky, but what about other businesses like the Taco Shack or the Candy Bar? Well, friends, I was about to stamp this one as certified false as well, but then an astoundingly keen observation was posted to the Food Theorist subreddit by Ezekiel Breadcrumbs, who pointed out this weird little public space in the center of downtown. See that? That distinctive checkerboard floor? The round pastel tables? Ladies and gentlemen, it's the former site of the candy bar, converted into an outdoor public space over the past 20 years. And that's not all. In a previous
Really?
episode, we identified the location of our circled blue house with the red roof as being way down here in the right-hand corner. Yes, there are other blue houses with red roofs, but this particular one fits with the position of the tall reflective building in the background. By cross-referencing the wide shot of the town against the picture with the circled house, we can figure out that the tan house would be situated around here, behind the foliage, and the gigantic Grubhub bag would have landed on Milkshake Lady somewhere around here. But get this, given how the tan house is situated, if it's indeed the Neutron house, it means the blue house with the red roof is actually built in what used to be the backyard of Jimmy Neutron's childhood home, which means that the blue house is located precisely on top of the site of Jimmy Neutron's workshop, which of course has his expansive high-tech underground lab beneath it. And this is a huge revelation because y'all figured out that Salad Lady, aka Cindy Vortex, now lives in that very same house. Many of you pointed out that Salad Lady's walls are
Oh, yeah.
shot of that house that the walls inside, again, are light blue. Furthermore, there's a window on at least one side
That's
of the front door
true.
of this house, which does indeed jive with the house's layout. And the implications of this are massive, because it suggests that adult Jimmy Neutron and adult Cindy Vortex might now be married, just like the Nickelodeon show promised they would be when it introduced future Jimmy and future Cindy in the season 3 episode, The Tomorrow Boys.
Cindy, can you not call me Nerdtron now that we're married?
Gotta say, definitely there. Future Jimmy even has that slightly unshaven taco guy look going on. Point is this, surely
Yeah, that's true.
Jimmy old stranger build a house on top of his ridiculously awesome lab. He'd be super reluctant to give that real estate up. So if Cindy Vortex is indeed living in the blue house with a red
I mean, I can't disagree with that.
to think that probably means that she's living with Jimmy Neutron and her mother.
I had to gut the lab so Cindy's mom could move in. Her feet require constant care.
And this info gives us the complete Taco Guy / Jimmy Neutron romantic timeline. According to Nickelodeon canon, circa 1998, 11-year-old Jimmy Neutron had an on-again, off-again schoolboy crush on his classmate and neighbor, Cindy Vortex. Shortly
True. I mean, he even fought to the death almost with Timmy.
And Timmy Turner, star of the Fairly Odd Parents, comes to Retroville, sweeping Cindy Vortex off her feet. But this is also when Jimmy Neutron visits Timmy Turner's home and meets Trixie Tang. The New York to Fort Worth plane ticket suggests that the two had a long-distance relationship, perhaps even when Trixie went off to college in New York. Based on the receipt that we unboxed in the previous episode, it seems that by July of 2012, Trixie, now Milkshake Lady, has finally moved to Texas to enjoy the shakes she adores so much with her taco-loving boyfriend and his wonderful dog Goddard. But Jimmy and Trixie's relationship would soon end, because per Nickelodeon canon, we know that Jimmy, 15 years in the future, aka 26-year-old Jimmy Neutron in the year 2013, was married to Cindy Vortex. So in late 2012 or early 2013, Jimmy Neutron abruptly dumps Trixie Tang and immediately gets serious with Cindy. However, Cindy's never been much of a fan of Goddard.
Hi, Neutron. Hi, Vortex. Nice dog. Thanks. Nice. Why are you taking your mother's blender for a walk?
So, Cindy made Jimmy give custody of Goddard over to Trixie, who always adored the dog and was more than happy to take him. Trixie eventually moves on and strikes up a relationship with Sheen. Judging by the age of their child in this cursed 2020 Grubhub commercial, she gave birth around 2018 or so. But shortly after giving birth, while she was out walking Goddard, Trixie Tang meets her untimely demise when crushed beneath a falling Grubhub bag. Custody of Goddard then reverts back to his father Jimmy, who by that point had begun spending his days depressed on the couch, which kind of makes sense considering that he's married to a woman that treats him like this.
Nerdtron, what are you doing? You're supposed to be soaking my mother's feet, and if it's not done every hour on the hour, she experiences severe flaking.
But for as enlightening as all this is, it brings up yet another gigantic question. See,
Yeah.
in the first episode, we established that Jimmy Neutron is likely responsible for the magical Grubhub activity around his city, as evidenced by the fact that he's a technological genius who possesses a cell phone so advanced that he can cause food to magically summon into existence, as opposed to all the other Grubhub characters who can only summon food to their doorstep via delivery guy. So the gigantic question is this: if Jimmy Neutron created or wields control over the magical Grubhub activity of Retroville, then is he the one responsible for the Grubhub bag that crushed Trixie? Are we to believe that a Grubhub bag accidentally fell from the sky with such accuracy and precision as to kill Jimmy Neutron's ex, but miss his beloved dog? Or is it more likely that Jimmy bumped off his ex-love in an attempt to get his dog back? The only bright spot in his miserable married existence to Cindy. Is Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius
Probably.
more accurately described as Jimmy Neutron, cold-blooded murderer? I mean, it seems like it's a bit of a stretch, but then again, this whole theory started off as a joke, and look where we are now. It's still just a theory, a food theory. But now, we have a whole lot more evidence, and we have you, loyal theorists, to thank for it. Thank you again to everyone for submitting your theories. Keep them coming in the comments below or over on the subreddit. And speaking of thanks, I'd like to thank NordVPN, the sponsor of today's episode, for not only supporting the channel, but for also making this episode physically possible. You see, Nord not only provides best-in-class security for all your online data, making sure it stays encrypted and anonymous, but it also unlocks content from all around the world with just 2 clicks. Say you're visiting Ireland, like I recently did, and you need access to content back in the US. 1 click, boom, it looks like I was back in the States, and I suddenly get access to everything I need. By the way, did you know that Netflix Ireland has access to the first 4 seasons of Rick and Morty streaming? I do now.
Really?
The internet's gonna be hopping back over the pond with Nord now that I'm back in the States and need access to those episodes for an
Ah.
theory. Or let's throw out another hypothetical. Say you're
Lucky.
scattered across the globe and they need access to Jimmy Neutron footage on Paramount Plus and Fairly Odd Parents footage on Amazon Prime for a project, but not all of them are able to access said footage in their respective countries. I think we can all say that we've been there, right? Well, friends, I can tell you with an outrageous...
Oh, right. Right. Can't, Sorry, I got interested in that. So, yeah.
To unlock the internet as it should always have been. A truly unfiltered, unfettered internet with no...
My bad.
Thank you all for watching, and as always, remember, it's all just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
So, I have to admit this was interesting. Though I have to admit the first 2 parts seem plausible. Because of the main issue being that well, the whole Cindy thing might be true and all that, but Trixie Tang and all that is technically not. Because if you do consider it, the Fairy Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron is basically 2 different worlds. The only way I can see it actually, working is the fact that during the third power struggle, there was like this giant warp where it changes reality in a weird way to where they can both exist side by side. But that is a bit of a stretch, so I'm going to have to call the last part false when it comes to Trixie Tang being a part of the Fairy Odd Parents. I mean, from the Fairy Odd Parents universe and the Jimmy Neutron universe. While they exist in 2 different universes and probably share different continuity, I can't say that she would be in the Jimmy Neutron one, because, again, she's from a different world, and unless the third power struggle made like this giant warp thing to where they're connected, or there's more going on with the whole universe thing, and they all, like, fused in between these 20 or so years, then yeah. I can't say for certain that I would agree that Trixie Tang is a part of the Jimmy Neutron one. So no, I have to say that one would have to be false. Everything else does seem plausible, though. But I'm not sure if Jimmy broke up with her or she broke up with him. Because if it was Trixie Tang, then let's be honest, I highly doubt she would keep a steady relationship with Jimmy, even if he was smart. She's more the person that would go for the popular people. than anyone else. But yeah, with all this said, hope you'll enjoy this video. If you did, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided. You'll know when you're subscribed when the red subscribe button turns gray. You'll be notified when the notification button is lit up. Tell me what your thoughts on this is. I honestly think the one that involves Trixie Tang being false. Everything else sounds plausible. Well, except the end bit. But yeah, it sounds plausible. That's it. But other than that, the link to this video will be down in the description below, so be sure to give Food Theory some love and support. I honestly don't know what to fully say about this, so tell me what you think in the comment section below. Because I only know for certain that the Trixie Tang one just seems obviously false. And while the end does have Murph, it just conflicts with the beginning one. So I can't really say if that was the Jimmy Neutron house. For the car, I can kind of agree that, as MatPat said, they would have to trade in their car because, you know, years pass and sometimes cars can't keep up. I should know. Anyway, other than that, I hope you'll enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!